Thanksgiving Eve, 1971. A man in a business suit, sunglasses, and a neatly pressed tie walks through Portland International Airport. His name on the ticket, Dan Cooper. He orders a bourbon and soda while waiting for Northwest Orient Flight 305 to Seattle. Quiet, polite, forgettable. Minutes after takeoff, he hands a stewardess a note. She thinks he's flirting until he whispers, "You'd better read it, I have a bomb." By night's end, he'll vanish into a stormy sky with $200,000. And for more than 50 years, no one, not the FBI, not treasure hunters, not conspiracy theorists, has solved the case. This is the story of the man who pulled off the only unsolved hijacking in U.S. history, D.B. Cooper. Welcome to Obscura Vault. The heist. November 24th, 1971. The flight was short, just 30 minutes, Portland to Seattle. Cooper, seated in row 18, calmly revealed his plan. He showed the stewardess a briefcase with wires and red cylinders. Demanded 4 parachutes and $200,000 in cash. Seattle authorities scrambled. They feared a slaughter if they refused. By the time the plane landed, FBI agents rushed the money and parachutes on board. Cooper released the passengers. Only the crew remained. He gave precise orders. Fly south toward Mexico City. Keep speed at 100 knots. Altitude 10,000 feet. Flaps at 15 degrees. Somewhere over the stormy forests of Washington, Cooper opened the rear stairway. With the cash strapped to him, he stepped into the freezing night. No one ever saw him again. The evidence matrix. The FBI launched Norjack Northwest hijacking investigation. It became the longest and costliest manhunt in Bureau history. What we know. Cooper was in his mid-40s, about 6 feet tall, dark hair, brown eyes. He wore a dark suit, white shirt, thin black tie, and loafers. He knew aviation. His instructions matched a paratrooper's knowledge. He requested parachutes in a way that made agents think he might take hostages. The money, $200,000 in $20 bills, serial numbers recorded. In 1980, a boy named Brian Ingram found 3 packets, $5,800, buried in sand along the Columbia River. That's the only money ever recovered. The parachutes. One was military grade, the other civilian. Cooper chose the older, less reliable chute. Accident or deliberate? The flight path. Radar suggested he jumped somewhere near Ariel, Washington. But search teams never found a body, parachute, or equipment. What doesn't add up is just as chilling. Weather was stormy, pitch black, with 200-mile-per-hour winds. Survival odds? Nearly 0. No missing persons that fit him were ever linked. The money never resurfaced, except for those rotting bundles near the river. Which brings us to the suspect. The suspect scorecard ranked. A crime this brutal demands suspects. But, as investigators soon learned, the deeper they looked, the stranger the theories became. Let's rank the prime suspects from least convincing to the ones who still make historians shiver. Number 6, Richard McCoy, the copycat hijacker. 5 months after Cooper's jump, in April 1972, Richard McCoy hijacked a United Airlines flight. He demanded $500,000, 4 parachutes, and jumped out over Utah. Sound familiar? It was practically a replay of the Cooper heist. McCoy was a Vietnam vet, helicopter pilot, and experienced skydiver. FBI agents arrested him 2 days later, recovering the ransom. So why isn't the case closed? McCoy didn't match Cooper's age or description. He was only 29. Cooper was calm, polite. McCoy bragged and boasted. McCoy's hijack used a handgun and grenade, not the briefcase bomb trick. Investigators admitted the crimes were similar, but McCoy was likely a copycat, an imitator chasing Cooper's legend. Scorecard verdict. Wrong suspect, right idea. Number 5. Dwayne Weber, the deathbed confessor. In 1995, Dwayne Weber, an ex-con with burglary and fraud on his record, lay dying. His wife, Jo, leaned close. He whispered, "I'm Dan Cooper." She was stunned. After his death, she searched his belongings. Found a Northwest Airlines flight manual, a hidden box of plane tickets, scars on his leg. Even stranger, Weber once drunkenly told her he had nightmares about leaving fingerprints on a plane. The FBI checked his prints and DNA against evidence. No match. And Weber had a reputation as a storyteller, often embellishing his criminal past. But Jo Weber swore until her death her husband was D.B. Cooper. Scorecard verdict. Intriguing, but more likely a con to the very end. Number 4. Kenneth Christensen, the inside job suspect. Christensen worked as a flight attendant for Northwest Orient. He knew the aircraft, the crew routines, the terrain. He was also a former paratrooper. He fit some details, quiet, serious, around 45, 5'8". After the hijacking, he suddenly had money buying land, gold, and property. But problems remain. Witness sketches didn't match well. He was shorter than described, and no direct link to the ransom money was ever found. The FBI said there wasn't enough evidence to pursue him further. But private investigators still call him the best insider suspect. Scorecard verdict. Plausible, but not airtight. Number 3. William Smith, the bitter airline employee. This suspect came to light in 2018. William J. Smith, a World War II vet and former railroad worker, matched the description closely. Here's the kicker. Smith was bitter about pay cuts and layoffs at the hands of large corporations, exactly like Northwest. Some theorists suggest the hijacking was revenge against the airline industry. His tie, left on the plane, had trace metals used in aerospace factories. Smith had worked in such environments. Motive, opportunity, knowledge. But the evidence is circumstantial. No money, no confession, no direct tie. Scorecard verdict. One of the more compelling working-class revenge theories. Number 2, Robert Rackstraw, the chameleon. The crowd favorite. Robert Rackstraw was a Vietnam vet, helicopter pilot, explosives expert, and certified con man. His life was wild. He faked his own death once, fooled banks, and lied to family constantly. When reporters asked him if he was Cooper, Rackstraw smirked, "Could have been." In 2018, a team of private sleuths claimed hidden codes in Cooper's letters matched Rackstraw's military units. His age, skills, and arrogance all aligned. The FBI investigated him in the 70s, then cleared him. They claimed he was too young and not a strong physical match. Still, many believe Rackstraw loved the suspicion, thrived on it. The kind of man who would jump into a storm and vanish just to prove he could. Scorecard verdict: the trickster who wanted us to think he was Cooper, maybe because he was. Number 1. Sheridan Peterson, the smoke jumper theory. Sheridan Peterson was an ex-Marine, smoke jumper, and Boeing employee. He lived near Seattle. He had the skills, the access, and even admitted once, "I could be D.B. Cooper." Peterson fit the age profile, 44 at the time. He was athletic, comfortable with parachutes, and had a rebellious streak. He'd traveled to Nepal and Vietnam, known for his anti-establishment ideals. The FBI considered him a strong suspect, but when DNA from his family was compared to evidence from the tie, it didn't match. Yet questions linger. Could evidence have degraded? Did Cooper deliberately plant misleading items? To this day, some historians rank Sheridan Peterson as the closest the FBI ever came to naming D.B. Cooper. Scorecard verdict: the most convincing profile, but the case remains unsolved. The legend and the closure. In 2016, after 45 years, the FBI officially closed the case. They admitted they'd spent thousands of hours, chased 800 suspects, and still had no definitive answer. Why does Cooper endure? Because he beat the system. He embarrassed the FBI. He disappeared clean, with style. Some call him a criminal, others call him a folk hero. All we know for sure is this: on one stormy November night, a man in a suit jumped into history. And he never came back down. Closing. 1 hijacking. 1 briefcase. 1 stormy leap. D.B. Cooper remains America's most enduring unsolved mystery. So, what do you think? Was it Rackstraw, the chameleon? Peterson, the smoke jumper? Or some clever ghost we never even named? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more stories where fact blurs into legend, subscribe to Obscura Vault. Until next time, keep your briefcases closed, your parachutes packed, and your secrets locked away.